we want to do the education piece. Part of that education piece is prevention. So, as an iron worker, you're obviously physically active every day on the job. What do you recommend in terms of the prevention so that you don't even get into a situation where you're walking into a doctor's office and he's writing you a script for an opioid?
Good question. When I was a apprentice coordinator, excuse me, apprentice coordinator and an instructor for a number of years back in Connecticut, I used to start off the apprentices and greet them and wish them a long career, a long, healthy, happy career. And I used to look around the room, and they all looked like athletes at that time. You know, the 20 to 30-year-old man or woman, they're buff, they're ready to go to work. Yeah. And I said, fast forward 20 years from now, how do you think you're going to look like? And I said, I look at you, every one of you now, as athletes. And I said, and any professional athlete that has a long career has to keep his mind and his body healthy over that time. So all I would say to them is, you know, if you're going to do 20, 30 years in the construction industry, you have to take care of your body. Right. And mentally and physically. You know, you can't really get out of shape. You can't put on 100 pounds since you've been an apprentice and expect to last in this business. Right. It's a hard physical job. So it's one of the things I would say to, you know, anybody coming into the trade that, you know, not only do you have to keep your body and your mind strong, and you have to be cognizant and aware of where you are, because safety is an impediment, and someone that's foggy, they're not going to work in a safe manner.
And could hurt other people.
And can hurt other people.
We've had employers, very prominent 100% iron worker employers come to us and say, Stretch and Flex program has dramatically reduced certain strains that could be associated with someone going to a doctor for a
Absolutely. It's a proven fact that some of these Stretch and Flex programs definitely work. It's like going into any sport. You never see an athlete come out of the locker room and boom, the whistle blows and they start playing the sport. Similar to an iron worker. You know, when an iron worker gets out of his car, whether it's a half-hour or 45-minute commute, and he pulls up on a job site on a cold winter day or a hot day, and he gets out, he doesn't go right out. And he normally, in the old days, he went right out in the field and started lifting that pile of rebar or stuffing bolts or slinging deck around. And so, yeah, the Stretch and Flex is a good program. You know, at first it was looked at as controversial, like the contractor was trying to do something. And that's not the case at all. Right. You know, it's a proven fact that if you stretch, you know, and, you know, touch your toes, whatever it is, move your arms in different motions and loosen up before you're going to be slinging deck around or climbing a column or welding or carrying rebar or hanging curtain wall or putting a big piece of glass in or a piece of metal in. You have to warm up that body. And I think that would prevent, it's a proven fact that does prevent some injuries. Not all of them, but some, but the, you know, majority, we've seen them.
What do you say to the man or woman out there that's watching this saying, yeah, it's never going to happen to me?
Again, nobody thinks it's going to happen to them. So that's why I think we have to be a little more proactive than reactive. We have to, early education to tell somebody that in the event they are injured on a job site, to speak up when you go into that emergency room, or have one of your health providers right away. You can reach out to that contractor and say, hey, I'd like to have someone go with me, you know, whether it's the job steward or the contractor himself might have someone on staff that can say, hey, let's get you into the right program, you know, the right emergency room or the right walk-in clinic, so that people that you're going into have an awareness of what you do for a living. You know, they know that you're physical.
We have a webcast that we did. It was headed up by Dr. Minchez, but did a webcast on managing comp. And part of that is when someone gets injured on the job site, make sure that he contacts the employer at any time, 24 hours a day, and goes with them to make sure that he gets the proper care.